Hi, welcome to my cable access show. Hey, I'm Spectator Frank Mahoney. Hey, check it out. Hey, there's Paul Newman. That's what I'm doing, is taping everything in sight, hanging out. That's what a spectator is all about, just hanging. So check my program out and see where my camcorder goes, because that's what it's all about, is taping, recording, seeing where Paul Newman is all about. Hanging out, hanging at the races, spectating at the races. And that's what this program is all about. I think maybe an interview is missing here.
Ron Fellows obviously qualifying up in the second in the Kenwood Fast 5, but we want to get Jack Baldwin over here, who had qualified third. And Jack, obviously, when we talked to you in the Kenwood Fast 5 ceremonies yesterday, and back high atop the tower, our wireless microphone, probably at the fringes of its effectiveness. Dano, as down trackside, everybody is lined up around the Trans Am cars, and they're set to go. Brett Creamer will be back in just a moment with that Kenwood Fast 5 qualifying. But I think one of the things you have to be impressed with here this afternoon is the number of cars that we have lined up down trackside. This series has really gone somewhere. This is the best series that we've ever seen come to Portland. This is the best field the Trans Am has ever presented us here, and it's as close as it can get. We've got a number of cars underneath the track record that was set last year, and in fact, from 1 through 10, there's less than a second of all those cars in between qualifying time.
Todos aí, tudo bem? Estamos aqui em Portland, no autódromo. How do you call this race here, Frank?
This is Formula. Ooh, stalking racers via International. Ooh, and I finally caught one. And this is the official press conference by Britain's Nigel Mansell.
It feels like I'm retiring or something. What the heck's going on?
Hope not. Are you? Any announcements you want?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hey, Carl, what's going on here?
You're the talk of the business these days. Has it been kind of overwhelming for you since the switch over?
Well, I don't know really. I mean, everyone's got their own ideas, perceptions on things. It's just made things more difficult for me, because all I really want to do is sort of go around the circuit this afternoon with my engineer and have a look at it. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of people here to accommodate, to speak to, and if we don't speak to you gentlemen, then obviously you get rather upset about it. So, you know, we're making ourselves available now, but in answer to your question, it is more difficult because you have less time to do things that you need to do.
Change been easier than expected for you, or more difficult?
No, a lot more difficult. You know, the cars, the teams are very, very competitive. You know, the transition on the rules, the transition on the tracks. I tried to explain to somebody this last week that for the next 9 races, I'm going to places I've never seen or been before. I'm going to circuits I've never even walked around before or even seen. I mean, this one as well. And the anxiety level of sort of you know, like today, go and have a look at the circuit and trying to sort of think how you're going to go around that circuit before you've ever driven on it is immense. And when you've had a big bank of historical things that you've done years previous in other circuits, you never have to worry about that. So I mean, it's very, very difficult and it's very challenging.
How long do you see yourself in Indy? How long are you going to stay on this circuit?
Oh, I've no idea. I mean, I think Carl's here this weekend and we want to get together to talk about the future, but you know, at the moment I'm contracted to nobody for 1994, 95, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'd like to think that we'll come to some arrangement where I can continue here if that's good for Carl and good for me.
You want to conquer this like you did F1?
Sorry?
You want to conquer this circuit like you did F1?
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we've got a very slight lead in the championship at the moment, but that's nothing. We've got to work real hard now at trying to be competitive for the remainder of the year.
Are you happy with how things have gone? Could you have scripted it better, or?
Things could have gone a little bit better. I mean, I could have done without the accident in Phoenix, but I've come back from that reasonably well, and although I don't feel I'm 100%, I'm getting there slowly. Every week that goes past, I'm a little bit better, so I just feel that in a few more weeks' time, perhaps a month, I'll be up to full strength again.
After this is over, where do you want to go from here?
I'd like to go home.
Now?
I mean, this last month I've been on the road. We haven't been home. In between races from Detroit to this one, I've been in England. I was there for over a week for different presentations and things that we won last year, and to see a lot of people and do some commercials, and just been working really hard. And now obviously we've been over in America for the last 2 days acclimating again, and of course we're here racing.
In your heart, do you feel you're the best driver in the world?
I think that's a very difficult judgment. What I would say is that at times, such as last year when we won the World Championship, over a 16 race period you were the best driver from the point of view of getting the job done. I would like to say that I'd certainly consider myself one of a small handful of drivers in the world that are the top drivers. Yes, certainly. The best one. I don't think anyone can say they're the best one, because from one week to the next you can be on form or off form a little bit, and then you can't demonstrate your skills. But certainly out of, shall we say, 3 drivers or 4 drivers in the whole world, then yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to some of the other guys and asking them about this course and about any challenges you present, and I talked to 3 guys and they've all raced here before, and they all said the same thing, that, you know, I've been here before, I know the course, and you know, and from year to year, that, you know, that's good knowing the course. So in the situation you're in, never having raced here before, never having raced,
it's going to be difficult.
But I guess from a perspective of, hey, I'm leading the points now, you must feel like that a couple more years in this circuit you could possibly be dominant once you've learned all these courses. Is that accurate?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it just depends what team you're with and how things are going. But I mean, what I would say to you, there's no question, once you've driven on a circuit, you go back there again, you should do it a little bit better. You're certainly wiser, you know how to set the car up better. And you know, you have this memory bank of things that when it happens to you in the car, you know how to deal with it just that little bit better. I just feel that, you know, every day that goes past we'll get stronger, and I just hope we have a good running day tomorrow with no problems, and then Saturday should be better, and then hopefully I'll be up to speed come Sunday for the race.
Have you given Indy cars more credibility, Nigel? Just because of where you've been?
I think you gentlemen have given Indy cars more credibility. I think it's quite astonishing the interest in the press and international press and the media in general. There's no question that the spotlight's focused on Indy cars for whatever reason. I don't know how comfortable I am with that, but I think it's very flattering for IndyCar and everyone who's in it, and I think that's great for the sponsors, the team owners and drivers alike.
Is it hard being Nigel Mansell? I was talking to Michael before you got here, and he said the amount of coverage you get international and in your hometown, you're almost the Michael Jordan of auto racing. Is it hard?
Well, no. Who's Michael Jordan? No, I mean, in my own country and in Europe, I wouldn't know how equal it would be to Michael Jordan, but we're a household name, no question, from small children right up to sort of grandmothers, grandfathers.
Is it hard?
I'd like to earn Michael's money, from what I understand. It's very, very hard from the point of view that you rarely have time for yourself, which is very important. You have to focus, you have to work. There's a lot of things you have to do with running your own business, and people forget that we have our own businesses, we have our own relatives, friends, and people and sponsors we have to look after. And you know, sometimes there's just not enough time to go around, and that's very, very difficult.
You know, you look so mellow and relaxed sitting here. What goes through your head as you get into that car and you prepare to go?
I am relaxed and I feel very comfortable sitting here. I played golf this morning and I've acclimated reasonably well. I think now I'm just about in the time zone. I'm only waking up at 3 in the morning now. But I mean, now this afternoon when my engineer will be coming up here, I mean, it'll be business, it's work. We've got to now do our homework, we've got to start thinking about setting the car up, and we've got to be competitive tomorrow, because the one thing that you all know is that, you know, unfortunately, I wouldn't say I have any enemies, but I've got no friends out there. They all want to beat me, they all want to beat me real well, and you know, we've got to work real hard at being competitive and trying to be as quick as the quickest out there.
Nigel, day one, I'm assuming the cavemen were racing to see if you could go as fast as, go faster, and then the chariot races, and right up through man has had this thing about going fast. Is that, do you think, something that's inherent in us, that desire to be faster?
I think if you're competitive, the desire to win is there in a lot of people. It's just a question of to what degree you want to go to try and win. But the competitiveness is there, and I would say yes, it's just built into everybody, whether you're man, woman, child, or whatever.
Is it more the competitiveness than the speed itself?
I think there's a whole host of things. I think it's to do with you know, the quality of your management of the car, the team, your sponsors. I find the work outside the car far harder than the work inside the car. Managing the car when you're on the track is relatively easy, it's second nature, but then it's making the car as quick, if not quicker, than the next person's car, which is difficult. Aerodynamic packages, we're powered by a fantastic Ford engine, but we must always work real hard at trying to get more power all the time. And then the team and the chassis we use, which is obviously the Lola, which some weeks it's better than the Penske, and other times Penske's better than the Lola. At the last race, the Penske was real quick.
Does a track like Portland, does that present more of a challenge because it's a road track and not an oval?
I think so. There's a lot more turns. I think you've got some very challenging high-speed corners here, which are going to be really interesting. And I've got to pay attention this afternoon when I walk around the circuit to see you know, how I feel about everything.
Let me just ask you one other question about Indy. It would have been storybook had you been able to win there. Is it something that's on your mind about how the race finished? Or you just kind of
no, you just got to put it back to history. You got to put it down to I was a rookie there and I got jumped on the restart. It's as simple as that. That's your regulation, and you know, they're allowed to race coming up turn 3 or 4, and they got the big jump, and that was it. I was history. I thought I was standing still down the straight as everybody came past.
Well, Nigel, you're not history, but what got you where you are?
Sorry?
What got you where you are? You're definitely not history.
No, I mean, I'm very much here, and I'm hopefully here to make some history. I'm with a great team, and I'm enjoying it, and I've just got to hope that the car keeps reliable, and we can keep, you know, getting the car quicker and quicker, and then I'll be very happy.
So if you were to say in 2 or 3 words, what got you where you are today? What would you say?
I'd say a lot of real good people, and one very special person, my wife, Roseanne.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can go.
We're standing near Lynn St. James' car, and we're going to see if we can interview some of her crew. We're trying to find her around as well. If we find her, we'll get an interview with her, but let's see who we can talk to and see what she's doing.
Well, I'm the crew chief for Lynn's team, and to work with, we treat her just like any other race driver. To us, she's just a racing driver, whether she's female or whatever. She's very good to work with, easy to get along with, and she's a good driver. At the moment, we're just going through a learning curve, and we just need more track time, more test time, but she's essentially a very good driver.
What's it like working with a female driver? Is it different from working with a male driver?
Not really. We just have to mind our language, really. That's about all. But for the rest of it, a driver's a driver. It doesn't matter to us who they are or where they're from. And again, we just treat her like a driver.
How does she feel about this race?
I think she's she's looking forward to it. She hasn't. The problem is experience and open wheelers at this track. Last weekend she ran an Atlantic car here and sat the car on the pole, and apparently she was running away with the race and the engine went. So she's got some track time in that thing. So yeah, we're looking for a good weekend with her here.
What kind of following does Lynn have?
She actually has a very big following, especially in Indianapolis. At Indy, every time she goes out, there's a lot of cheering. She's brought a lot of new fans into the sport, obviously a lot of women. And she really has a good following. She's very good with the fans. She does a lot of work outside of the cockpit. So she has a very big following.
Is she doing any kind of, I hate to use the word charity, but any kind of work with different groups for like Drug-Free America or something like that?
She's actually, I know she does an awful lot. I believe she's the head of the Women's Sports Foundation, so she does a lot of work for them. She has a very hectic schedule. Exactly what, I'm not sure, but I know she works. It's a full-time job for her.
Does she see herself as some kind of role model for women?
Maybe in some way she looks at it as a role model. I think she likes to be treated as a sort of race driver who's just doing a job as a race driver. I don't think she really wants to be looked at as something unusual or different. And obviously, if it has brought a lot of attention to women in the sport, that's a good thing.
This Saturday's Trans Am event had so many people, so little space to stand. I had to watch my toes. Ha ha ha. And there's Paul Newman, number 12 again.
Hey, does anybody remember who won this event? Did anybody check out ESPN? Check out the sports pages of the Oregonian? Well, I didn't. I forgot.
Hi, could you give us your name and exactly what you do here?
My name is Chris Erickson, and I'm the general manager for Tom Gloy Racing.
And these are your cars?
Not mine personally. Belong to a gentleman named Tom Gloy, former Trans Am Series champion. And we run 4 of them in the SCCA Trans Am Series. One for Ron Fellows, which is the blue AER McKenzie car. Black car, number 12 car back there in the corner, being driven this weekend by Paul Newman. And one of the Budweiser cars driven here by Jerry Clinton. And the other Budweiser car driven by Walter Payton, former.
How does it feel to work on Paul Newman's car?
When he comes to the race weekends, he's just another driver, and that's how he wants to be treated. And
Is he the oldest driver in today's event?
If not the oldest, probably one of the oldest. Yeah, I believe he's 67, 68 years old. So there aren't too many other guys up there that age, that's for sure.
What did he have to do to qualify for this?
Well, before you get to Trans Am racing at all, you have to have done generally several years of amateur level racing, smaller types of cars, less horsepower. And but by the time you get to Trans Am, you should have had several years either in a different category of SCCA racing or different category of some other sanctioning bodies type of race cars.
And where's Paul Newman want to go with his racing? Does he want to go beyond this, or is he just want to stay here, or what does he want to do?
Well, he's driven Trans Am cars very, very successfully off and on for probably 8-10 years, something like that. He's a former national champion in amateur type of racing. And I would guess the pinnacle of his achievements at the moment are having been a very successful driver and then co-owner of the Newman Haas IndyCar team driven by Nigel Mansell and Mario Andretti. So he's been an IndyCar owner now for several years, probably 10 years, I guess. So.
And given his age, it's quite an accomplishment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, given for what these guys do out there, you know, at any age, it's actually quite an accomplishment. But when you're up there in years, I guess it's even more of an accomplishment. Yeah, I mean, it's quite surprising. He did a race with us 4 weeks ago, I guess, down at Road Atlanta. Was the first time he'd been in a car for about 3 years, and was running 8th against some real stiff competition, all the other drivers here, and unfortunately didn't finish the race, but certainly showed himself well, you know, for the first half. So.
How did he get himself into this?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know how he got started in it.
Any other questions, Frank?
How long have you been coming to the Portland track, or what year is this?
So the first time that I guess I was here was probably around 1980, 1982. So we've been coming almost every year since then.
Tom Gloy Racing?
Yeah, first time here was in 1983 with Tom Gloy Racing. And drivers then were Tom Gloy and Lynn St. James, who's doing the IndyCar race here.
How has the track improved since 1983? And
well, it's been resurfaced. You know, several areas of the track have been resurfaced over the last few years. They've added the chicane down there towards the end of the straightaway. Everybody that I know, all the drivers, all the crew, everybody loves coming here to Portland. It's
what makes Portland different?
Oh, it's on the West Coast, first of all, which is a big advantage. We're from California, and so it's always nice to at least be on the right side of the country. I don't know. It's a real community atmosphere here, and
citizen involvement.
Yeah, it really is. We know a lot of the organizers, such as Bill Hildig, who's the Rose Festival chairman, I believe. Known him for many years. I know he puts a lot of work into this, putting this race on. You know, Norm Daniels from G.I. Joe's. So we know a lot of the corporate participants and the race officials themselves here in the community, and I mean, they just go all out to do everything they can for the teams and the drivers to make it a real welcome deal.
That's how you can afford it.
Well, no, the only way you can afford it is you know, having real good sponsors, and fortunately we do. Ford Motor Company, AER, McKenzie, Budweiser, and the National Football League. Those are our primary sponsors, and without them, you know, we'd all be doing different types of jobs, I would imagine.
Now, Portland takes pride in the track and that it's wholly city-owned, and it's a municipal park.
Right.
And there's not another track around the country of this nature under private hands or public land?
Well, not quite. I think Detroit is probably in a similar situation. That race is held on a what they call Belle Isle, which I don't know, but city or state-owned park right in the middle of the Detroit River. But yeah, generally most of the tracks we go to are either city street circuits, where obviously the cities are the ones you know, responsible for those events, or to other circuits like Sears Point, Lime Rock, places like that that are completely privately owned venues. So you have a mix and match during the season of the types of racetracks, who owns them, who the sponsors are, and who the organizers are. But generally, it's real good.
Hi, here we are at the Chalet Village of the Portland Indy 200. They had a big lunch here a little while ago. It's a very plush, very elegant looking place, very cool as compared to the sun burning outside. There's black and white tablecloths on the table, black and white balloons, red flowers, and this is obviously set up for some kind of some big deal happening in the near future. As I said before, it's sort of like a rich and famous type atmosphere here, with the Cadillacs roaming around and the flowers, and just the air of importance in this place. It's kind of an awesome feeling to be here. This is Premier Catering right here, and they're going to introduce themselves and tell us what's it like working at the Portland Indy 200.
Angela and Jessica. Well, today it's warm, obviously, but it was great. It was great. It went very smoothly.
What did you do just here? What kind of buffet was this, or lunch?
We had quite a bit. We had Cajun chicken here, tequila beef, and this was the most popular and most questioned, pasta, lobster stuffed pasta.
Do you serve the race car drivers?
Yeah, we did.
Did you get to talk to them and meet them?
They were friendly.
Everybody was really friendly, actually. Everybody.
What's the most interesting part of working here?
Just working with the public and a lot of different people. You know, we had a lot of media and the Rose Festival Corps and the race car drivers. That was the most interesting for me, I think.
Seeing people that you recognize.
I should be holding the camera, you know?
Yeah. That's what you got to say for today, huh?
Here. Is it on?
Yeah, that's on. Just, there you go.
Say cheese, right?
Hey, see, now this is what's happening.
Okay, what's happening? I think I just won the race.
I didn't, so you must have.
Yeah, well, I was driving my camera.
And how was it? Was it a good run?
It was a good run.
Outstanding.
It rained a little bit, though.
A little bit. They didn't mess you up, did it?
No, it was intermittent.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you stood on it pretty good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right. Commentating. Thanks. To me. To Frank. Now I'll have to get a few toys.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks.
How much of this is for the money, or is it for the racing thrill?
The racing thrill. Yeah, the racing thrill. They do not, once they get it in their blood, as we all say, you know, they love their racing. And anything he's done since, his father and I we have bought more things for him to be involved with, and he has left more businesses and left us running them.
What do you think of the Portland event here?
The Portland event is absolutely super. It is the #1. I have been to every racetrack in the United States.
What makes it different?
Bill Hildick. He is a perfectionist. He wants it run just so, and he makes sure it is run just so, at his own expense, health-wise and monetary. But it is the top, I would say it is the top race in the United States today.
Yes. Thank you.
And obviously you've just interviewed a mother.
The mother of a famous race car driver.
The mother of an almost famous race car driver. Almost famous.
Of the Drag Racing Hall of Fame, Ohio George Montgomery is the guy who does all the maintenance work on these engines. And it's been 7 years, Bob, and I can honestly say cars are in. Buzz Calkins, who had the little difficulty earlier, his teammate Robbie Groff, who finished third a couple of weeks ago at Detroit, is in. Dr. Jack Miller is out of the Aqua Fresh car. And 18-year-old Greg Moore out of Vancouver, British Columbia, the Viper car, he's in. And Sandy Brody has just done a loop-de-loop one more time between turns 8 and 9, but that's right in front of them. Just can't cram enough action into one weekend. I've heard a story that he may be leaving PIR sometime tomorrow to go race a truck that Saturday night and come back here to race on Sunday. You are correct, sir. Jeff Ward is going to be leaving beautiful Portland, Oregon, and he's going to go off-road racing in a truck tomorrow. He's going to qualify the car today. He's going to go off and play in the mud for a little while tomorrow, and then he'll be back Sunday morning for the race. You are correct. Not a rumor, that is fact. Coming down the pit lane, here's Ray Richter.
Make that at 11:30 today. That's in about 35-40 minutes in the media compound. Four-time world Grand Prix champion Eddie Lawson and seven-time AMA motocross champion Jeff Ward. They will both be there in the media compound at 11:30.
Yeah, it is chaos. It would have been better if they did fly. Hands up!
You see how close?
The new series that Carol Shelby
On a big screen TV.
Look at this one.
this is Spectator Frank. Had enough? Well, then make a TV dinner. You know, I couldn't live without a microwave too, you know. Hey, maybe go to the powder room. I don't know. But anyway, upcoming next is my interviews with the rich and famous. Knock, 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 or... Ding, ding, ding. Short break's over. Well, we're in for a ride that's going to make wavy gravy for your mashed potatoes, so hang on tight. We're speaking to Emerson Fittipaldi, a former two-time World Championship driver from Formula One, F1. Okay, Emerson. Okay. I think this is what you call the big cut. Anyway, I asked him where he got his racing experience.
The traffic in Brazil. I think that's one of the ways I learned racing. When I start driving the streets in Brazil, it's really crazy traffic in Brazil, and there's a lot of crash and accidents.
Running out?
You know, it's amazing.
For the future, are you working on anything right now? How do you manage to juggle all this? Your entrepreneurship and you're a really good racer and famous movie star. Is it difficult to find time for just yourself?
We have a lot more time for myself than most people think. And this is very relaxing for me. And the salad dressing doesn't take any time at all because we don't advertise. And we just give the money away every Christmas. And that's kind of terrific. And nobody's writing anything out there, so there's nothing to work at. So I still loaf a lot.
All right. Do you ever do any fishing?
Yes. Not very successfully, but I do a lot of fishing.
Oregon's good for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman.
How's it going today?
I'm hungry.
Oh, you're hungry.
I'm hungry.
Oh, you're waiting in line.
Yes.
Well, what are you going to order today? A hamburger?
Corn dog. Coke.
Hey, how much are they charging today?
$1.50.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much. 59 cents for me. Who's your favorite today?
I don't really know. I'm just here.
Just here? Where's my dinner? My doggy dinner. Television is really boring tonight.
I'd like to replicate rumor has it that rent the Mustang, go on a yard, and then return it. Always surprised as far as the road was good. That's why the tires are totally chewed up after only 170 miles.
Let me get a beer.
Second beer of the day, yeah?
Everything as well out here on the back stretch. And there's nobody.
No ID, no minors.
Here you can take a, you can do a little slide of my tattoo there. How's that?
Are staying in single file with about a clear.
Yeah, all right. No faces.
No faces.
All right.
Well, you can do his face all you want.
Where's the Budweiser sign? Oh. What is that?
This is Bud.
Uh-oh. That's not good, is it?
Oh, my face.
Oh, I got it off. It's Miller time.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Jeff Scoble did make it up. We'll get a couple words with him before he goes away. There, where you signed up for the contest, and pick up your free case. Mr. Redmond was not able to start yesterday, has been gridded on the poles next to Mr. Vager. That should provide some very interesting entertainment for all the race fans here.
Peanut, right?
Yeah. Hey, cheese.
What's the weiter? Where?
What? Did you tell you when you got this morning? It doesn't fit.
Let's go see the Sunbeam Tiger, Doug.
There they are. They're right there.
Where?
Oh, it's so brilliant. Look at this. Tiger.
Tiger, huh? What is it, Doug?
Oh, it's a beauty.
Nice. Frank, how come why didn't you bring your still camera?
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. I can't find it. I can't find it. Okay, Josh.
There he is. is Mr. ESPN, even as we speak.
Can I have an interview, sir?
No comment.
No
Here.
comment.
Here, hold that right there. I think I got it.
Go for it. And excuse me, sir, what time did you wake up? About 2?
Mahoney, the man, the camera.
The man, the camera. They call me the video guy.
Roving video.
Roving video.
Totally foolish video.
And who's the driver of this contraption here? Anybody? Anybody?
We're flying in Paul Newman for the race.
It's flying in with holding from the race? Is that what it is? Somebody sure does good work. Boy, look at that polish.
I think it's the guy polishing.
He looks like an African American to me.
well, we don't discriminate on the basis of.
Well, somebody to walk in front of it. You're not going to read.
Well, hold on for your commercial. You got 5 seconds to get that camera out here before you wear it. This guy.
Is that right?
This guy. We're talking to a master of anal insertion here. You better watch out.
Hi, here we are at the playground for the rich and famous. Literally, it's a playground. We've got a swing set here. My guess is for the kids of the drivers, of the crew. It's been a fascinating experience watching corporate America prepare for the big media event of the year. As a Flying Focus reporter, I guess I feel sort of skeptical about this whole thing, but again, what happened to the Blazers in pay-per-view? What happened to most of our sports with all of our hype around it and all the souvenirs and all the equipment around it? It's money, corporate money, and not fun anymore. It's just a playground.
Playground of the rich and
It's a playground for the rich and famous, and you are here.